What's up, you guys? As always, I am super excited to be here with you guys. Welcome to JTD Talks. In today's episode, we are going to be talking all about advertising, okay? I'm going to be sharing with you how I create my ads and as well as how I distribute them across multiple different sales channels and across the internet to gain brand awareness and so that people can see my ads and bring them to my website, okay? So we have all that and more in today's episode. So we are going to kick today's episode off with the quote of the day. So, the quote of the day is going to be from British author and inspirational speaker Simon Sinek, and it reads, "People do not buy what you do, they buy why you do it." Okay, so as we go through today's episode, breaking down different ways to create ads in different forms of marketing, I want you to know that as long as you stay true to yourself, as long as you stay true to why you created your brand, why you created your business, or the vision and reason behind your brand or business, you are going to find your audience. Your audience is going to find you, okay? Yes, it is important for you to understand your target audience and know how to market and sell to them. But people are going to be drawn to you, to your story, to the reason why you created this brand. So make sure that you stay true to that and make sure that you tell your story, and your audience will come to you. Okay. Now, if you're struggling to find your target audience, I do have a podcast episode all on that particular topic. And you can go ahead and check out our library to go ahead and click and listen to that podcast episode. Okay. So, you guys, since my podcast is more on the educational side, I've decided to video record them as well so that I can upload visuals of the topics that we discuss. That way you can actually see the things that I'm referring to when I'm talking about them, okay? So you guys, let's get into today's episode for real, okay? Yeah, I've been creating my own ads and advertising since I started this business back in 2020, okay? So if you're watching this on YouTube, first off, hey, what's up? How y'all doing? But I'm going to insert some of our most recent ads so that you can see them. Now, if you are listening to the podcast, if you haven't already, I recommend that you go ahead and check out our Instagram page at jtdco.shop so that you can see some of our ads, because that's where we kind of post ads almost daily. Also, we have some ads that we run through Facebook, and our most recent ad that we ran through Google will be found on our YouTube page, which is JTD as well. Now, I do, however, want to mention that this Facebook page that we have now is a new Facebook page. So if you was following us before on our Facebook page and you seen that we went missing for a while, I had to create an entirely new Facebook page because my ads manager was not working, disabled for whatever reason, which made me have to create a whole new ads manager account, e-commerce shop, and things like that. So go ahead, we are up and running now. Go ahead and check us out on Facebook. It's the same name as our last page, which is JTD Co. But you guys, when I first started to create my ads, I had no idea what I was really doing. Okay, I had no previous knowledge of how to edit a video or how to even broadcast them across any platform, really. All I knew was that I had to get people aware of my brand, and I had to do it in a way that stood out from the average Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, Snapchat post. Okay. The only editing software that I really knew about was Pixar and iMovie, and I didn't even really know much about those apps besides the fact that they were free, mobile friendly, and I could create photo and video collages on them. And honestly, that's essentially what I wound up doing. I would take pictures of the products that I sell and create different videos and pic collages and add whatever background music was available on those free apps. And I would just add text that would emphasize that we have new arrivals available or new sales coming up, and just telling people basically to visit the shop. Now, even with that limited information and skill that I had when it came to editing, my post was getting a good amount of attention, y'all. And for it to be an organic advertising, mean I didn't have to pay for it. I didn't pay anybody to push it or boost it. They were getting pretty decent amount of attention and attraction to them. However, I knew that it wasn't enough. Like, I knew that I had to create better ads with more graphics, better music, and like I said, I was using the free version of these apps, y'all. So I was limited with what features I could use because there was only so many features available for the free versions of these apps. And I eventually grew tired of the same old video styles that I was doing and the same transitions that I was using. I didn't have any effects to them, and it was getting pretty basic and boring. And I knew if either creator was getting tired of making the videos and posting them, I knew eventually my audience would get tired of seeing them. So I had to jump back into research mode, y'all, and try to figure out some more or better editing apps, some different softwares that could help me basically take my ads to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So, in doing this research, that's when I came across two apps in particular that I want to talk about. Filmmaker Pro and Canva in its paid version, Canva Pro. Now, Canva Pro, I have mentioned this in a multitude of previous podcast episodes. It's basically it is a pretty basic form of Photoshop, and in Canva they have a whole lot of different templates and things that you can use for basically whatever social media post or whatever media post that you may use. They even have templates for YouTube intros or outros, t-shirts, things like that. They have so many different templates, and elements and things that you can take advantage of on their website on their free version. Now, I did eventually upgrade to their paid version, and I did this because, again, there's only so many features that you can take advantage of when it comes to the free versions of these apps. So when I transitioned to the paid version, I was able to take advantage of things like the background remover. And the background remover is just a way where you upload a picture and it removes the background of any picture that you upload. And I was also able to take advantage of them basically animating my photos, so they would be able to make my images move in a particular way or different ways across my screen, essentially animating my photos or animating my clothes designs, and just making it a lot more interesting for my viewers or target audience when they go and watch the ad. Filmmaker Pro allowed me to utilize different transitions throughout my videos, and both of these apps came with their own library of free music that you can use when it comes to your videos, when it comes to your ads or whatever you're making. And that basically opened the door and allowed me different options to background music for my ads and my videos. Just another way to upgrade it and make my videos better. Now, again, both of these apps have free versions, you guys, and the free versions are budget friendly and a great place to start, but you are very limited in the things that you can do when it comes to the free version of these apps. And a lot of the things that I mentioned that I'm using with these apps are, honestly, you have to pay for the paid version in order to use these features. Okay, so when you get the chance, go ahead and start investing in the paid version of these editing and software apps, because I promise you, you're going to get so much more out of it. You're going to be able to do so much more, and it's going to be worth it. Now that I'm a little more experienced when it comes to video editing and creating ads, I use a multitude of different paid apps in order to create my ads and my videos and things like that. The different apps that I use range from things like Wondershare or Filmora for my video editing. I use Epidemic Sound for my background music now, which is a license-free music agency that I've mentioned before in previous episodes as well. I also use Place It for mock-ups when it comes to the business, and I still use Canva too from time to time when it comes time to create my posts and things like that. Also, now that I create my own designs, now that I'm doing custom designs when it comes to the clothing, a lot of my editing happens in the Adobe Cloud apps. So in the Adobe Cloud apps, I utilize things such as Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and now I'm starting to learn how to utilize Character Animator and After Effects. So soon you guys are going to be seeing the characters that I create. They're going to be the ones talking to you guys through the commercials, and I am super ecstatic about that. Now, all of the apps that I am currently using are paid apps, but to me, they are definitely worth the investment, you guys. Okay, so if you are just starting out in this business, you will learn very quickly that it takes money to make money. Okay, so eventually you're going to have to invest not only time and energy, but eventually you're going to have to invest money into your business in order for it to grow and be successful. Okay, so now that I share with you guys how I create my ads and hopefully gave you some tips that you can take from this video to create your own ads, I want to share how I market those ads or how I push those ads to get seen by multiple people across different sales channels and different social media platforms. Okay. So essentially, there are two ways to market and advertise, or two ways to advertise, right? You got organic advertising and you got paid advertising. When it comes to organic advertising is essentially just basically creating a post, posting it on your page, or posting it on your YouTube channel, or posting it on your TikTok, and basically hoping that people are attracted to your post naturally and that it gets seen by a lot of people naturally. That means you're not paying anyone to post your business. You're not paying any other software app to push your business or push that ad. You're literally just going off of basically hope, okay? Hope and faith, okay? And that way is very budget friendly. And you also have another way to do organic advertisement by maybe even partnering up with other influencers or other small business owners, and you guys can, take turns shouting each other brands out, and that way you're not necessarily paying for anything. You're just reposting their business as they repost yours, and you guys are sharing each other's businesses with your audience in hopes that your audience go follow them or go shop with them as well, right? Another completely free way to advertise, another organic way to advertise. But when it comes to organic advertising, especially on social media, to me, it's one of those things where you're basically going off faith, right? You're going off hope, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you don't already have like a good following and a great engagement, not too many people are going to be interested in your product or your brand or your business, especially if all you follow are your family and friends. Sometimes it's very hard for family and friends to see you as anybody other than yourself, especially when it comes time for you to open a business. And even though they may like a post, if they do that, if they like or share your post, they may not be necessarily enticing to buy or purchase from you, which is fine because, like I've said in previous podcast episodes, your family and friends may not even be your target audience. They may not even be the people who you want to purchase your items from, right? So organic advertisement is good because it's budget friendly. And if you already have that major following and you are already like some type of influencer, that can work for you because you can take the following that you already have, the engagement that you already have, and that influence part that you already have, and just tell them to go buy your product or, schedule a booking with one of your services that you offer. And, you can essentially gain income from that, right? But even if you go this route, eventually you're going to start advertising and marketing to the same people. You know what I'm saying? Like your same followers. And they may, if they purchase, they may only purchase from you that one time. And maybe they're just doing it to show support because they know you, but they may not necessarily still be your target audience, right? So that's when we start getting into paid advertisement, okay? So when it comes to paid advertisement, there are a multitude of ways that you can, go about paying for advertisement, paying for marketing and things like that, right? But I'm going to only talk about the few different type of paid advertisement techniques that I've used and go into a little more details about those advertisements, okay? So first I'm going to start off with Google Ads, okay? So last month I ran my very first Google Ads campaign. And when it comes to Google Ads, it was essentially very easy. Once you have your ad created, you're going to go ahead and upload that video to a new YouTube account or to your YouTube account if you are already a YouTuber. You're going to copy and paste that link into the Google Ads website or whatever, the app where they tell you to post it. They're going to give you a little preview of what your ad is going to show like. Then they're going to go into a series of questions to ask you. They're going to ask you things like, what demographic are you trying to target? What age group? What interests and hobbies do you want them to have? How long do you want your ad to run? When do you want it to end? What time of the day do you want your ad to run? And things like that, right? They're going to ask you what your budget is for that ad, and they're going to ask you how much do you want to spend per day when it comes to running your ads, okay? Google Ads is a pay per click type of situation. So eventually you're paying for how many times people actually click or watch the ad all the way through. And yeah, that's basically what you're paying for. Now, when it came to Google Ads, to me, it was okay. It's a great way to get brand awareness. It's a great way to get your business out because they do send your ad out to thousands of people. Now, this ad, Google Ads is basically just those videos that when you're on YouTube and you're watching your YouTube channel and then those ads come up and you can choose to skip it or watch it all the way through. Those are the Google Ads. That's what Google Ads is going to do. It's going to bring your ads through YouTube while people are watching their videos. It's going to pop up on their screen and things like that. And like I said, YouTube got my video to thousands of people, and 95% of those people watch the video all the way through. You're going to get Google Analytics when it comes to your videos and your advertisement. They're going to tell you how many people that they got to view your advertisement, how many people watched it all the way through, how many people clicked from the ad to the website. You're going to get all of that, okay? And even though thousands of people were watching my ad and watching it all the way through, not that many people were actually clicking off and going to the website. It was a decent amount of people clicking off and going to the website, but not enough for me. And the reason why I feel like that is because if I think about what I'm doing when I'm watching YouTube, even if I see a commercial or a little ad that seems a tad bit interesting, I may watch it all the way through the end, but I'm not necessarily going to click off of what I'm already trying to learn or watching on YouTube in order to go and pursue whatever that ad was or to look more into detail about that ad because I'm already essentially on YouTube for a reason. And I don't want to get distracted most of the time. I'm on there for, literally a specific reason to either learn how to do something, figure out some information about something, things like that. So when it comes to Google Ads, like I said, it's great for brand awareness, but when it comes to turning those leads into sales or turning that reach into leads, it's to me, that's not the only route that you should take, okay? Now, also when it comes to Google Ads, you should know that when you do sign up for Google Ads, it will take a couple of days for them to verify your account. They're also going to want to place a $50 hold on your account in order for them to start running your ad. Now, once they start running your ad, that $50 will be released And I believe you can run your ad with a budget of about $375 a month. Once you hit that budget, they're going to stop running your ad for the month, and you're going to have to wait until the next month in order to, go ahead and create a new ad. I do believe you can run multiple ads at one time. I just haven't done that, but I do believe that is an option. So now let's get into the Facebook Ad Manager, which is probably my favorite way to run advertisements, okay? One, when it comes to Facebook Ad Manager, you do have to create a business account for your Facebook page. You have to have a regular Facebook page, and then you want to go ahead and create a Facebook business page, okay? If you can, go ahead and integrate your actual website with your clothing with your Facebook page and create a Facebook shop. Try to get a Facebook shop, because if you create a Facebook shop, then you will be able to tag the products from your ad, and your customers or whoever is watching the ad will be able to click on the tag products and essentially buy the clothes right through Facebook, and Facebook will send it to your website, and however else that goes, it will go through like that. But it's easier for the clients to get more information about your clothing or about your tag if they are able to click it right through the ad. And with them being able to buy it right off the website, right off of Facebook, it doesn't have to take them into a whole nother page if you don't want them to go to a whole nother page in order for them to shop or buy from you. Also, you can start your Facebook ads without having a $50 hold on your account. You can pick a budget that you are comfortable with. You can start anywhere from $1 to $5 to $10. Now, you want to remember, the smaller your budget is, the less reach that your ad is going to get. So keep that in mind when it comes to budget. And you also want to figure out how much per day do you want to spend on running ads when it comes to Facebook. So when you go to create your ad on Facebook, you're going to go ahead and create a new ad campaign. You're going to pick the video or post that you want to boost. They're going to ask you similar questions about the target audience that you are trying to reach when it comes to their demographics, when it comes to their age, when it comes to their interests, when it comes to basically you picking exactly who you want to see your ad. Okay? One of the other great things about Facebook ads is that is how you also run your Instagram ads. So when it comes to Instagram allows you to boost your post as well. But when you boost your post, they're going to tell you, if you haven't already, to go ahead and create a Facebook ads manager. That's why it's good to already go ahead and have that. And if you have an Instagram shop, that is how they integrate your store to Instagram. They use the integration system that you've already used with your Facebook, and they just integrate it into Instagram. So essentially, Facebook is where you're going to market or ad for Facebook and Instagram, okay? If you have an Instagram shop, Instagram is also another place where you can have your items tagged into the advertisement or the post, and they could click on those tags and figure out more information about your items and essentially buy your items straight through Instagram. So both of these are great tools. When it comes to Instagram, though, they do have a limited selection of, when it comes time for you to basically be more specific about who you want to see your ad, theirs isn't as detailed, or they don't give you as many options to choose from as Google and Facebook, but still it is a great way to boost posts, get reach, get engagement, and things like that. So I do recommend that you take advantage of all three of these ways to market and advertise your business. One thing I will say about Instagram, though, when it comes to having people shop through Instagram, is you want to be careful with that, because a lot of people have gotten scammed through Instagram, so they are having a harder time trusting Instagram shops or people who sell through Instagram and things like that. So when it comes time for you to pick your landing page, basically where you want people to go when they actually click your ad to get more information or whatever the case may be, You may want to have them land on your website's homepage or a page on your website. That way they'll be taken to a actual website, and it may seem a little more legit to certain viewers or customers trying to shop, just to make your customers or target audience a little more comfortable. Now, if your target audience is Gen Z, or the younger millennials, then they may not have a problem going ahead and utilizing Instagram shop and buying right off Instagram and Facebook shop. But if you are trying to advertise to the older millennials, to the Gen X, to baby boomers, they're probably less likely to trust Instagram in order to shop and purchase items from. So just keep that in mind when it comes to what you want to pick your landing page to be once someone clicks on your ad to get more information. Now, another way of paid advertisement is something like the organic advertisement way that we talked about earlier, except this time you pay. So, this way is called paying micro influencers. Now, this is where you find influencers who do promotions, and they offer you a fee for them to post your business or your brand on their page, and they post you on their story for however many days, or they leave you on their page for however many days, and you get the attentions of their audience or their followers, and hopefully their followers are enticed to buy or purchase from you. I've done this only once though, and I've done it with the Cleveland Remembrance page. I did their story. It was only about $10. I am going to look into more micro influencers and see who else that I can pay to post these ads. But you also want to be careful of what micro influencers you have post your ads to, because you want to essentially make sure that their followers are following them looking for something to purchase, or you essentially are doing it for no reason. See, Cleveland Remembrance page, if you are from Cleveland, is really our like almost like hood news page. Like it tell you everything that's going on, like every bad thing that's happening in Cleveland and surrounding cities. Cleveland Remembers page is there, like Fox 8 News. I don't know how, but they get the scoop. They got videos. They got, with the help of their followers and, other people in Cleveland who send stuff in, they're going to post about that. So essentially I had to remember, people don't follow the Cleveland Remembrance page to shop. They follow the Cleveland Remembrance page to keep up with any tragic accidents or incidents that's happening in Cleveland. But I just wanted to, take my hand at a different way of marketing, and I mean it was pretty decent. But like I say, you just want to make sure you know which micro influencer you are going to utilize and what their target audience is, or what their followers are, who their followers are, and if their followers are essentially or could essentially be your target audience. Okay. And if you don't know what a micro influencer is, a micro influencer is just someone who has a pretty decent following, maybe about 50,000 or so followers or under. They don't have 1 million followers yet, or 2 million followers yet, but they have a good thousands and thousands of followers, 10,000 plus of followers, and that they can help you reach, a good amount of people. Okay. Now, I'm sure there is a multitude of ways to do paid advertising through a whole bunch of different softwares, but these are just the ways that I have started advertising, and the things that I have been utilizing since I've started. And again, y'all, I'm just starting. Like, even though I've been doing this for a couple of years, I'm still just starting out. I haven't even touched the surface of where I want to be when it comes to marketing and advertising, okay? But now, you guys, I think it's time for a well-deserved JTD code update. All right. So, as you guys may have noticed, JTD is now a custom design clothing brand for boys. That means I am doing every design that you see on my website. I am creating them myself from scratch in Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. And I am just so proud of that. Also, by next week, we will be offering the buy now, pay later option when it comes to our clothes. So you will have the option to pay in 4 different installments, but you will get your clothes. They will ship out sooner than later. So I'm excited about that as well. And hopefully by next week, we will be selling on Amazon, y'all. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last post, but I have been trying to work with Amazon to get to become an Amazon seller. They're having some technical difficulties on their end when it comes to their system. So hopefully we can get that resolved. I've been emailing them back and forth and been on the phone with them all day today trying to get this issue resolved, but they keep saying, well, our system's down, try again in 24 hours and things like that. So when they get that going and get that together, we will be selling on Amazon, so you guys can purchase from Amazon. Y'all, I'm so excited about that. I know, y'all. I know that's gonna go, y'all. I know that's gonna go. So be on the lookout for that as well. And just keep up with us on our Facebook and Instagram. Just try to stay posted with us, because I know I am going to start posting a lot more and keep you guys updated on there as well. Now, in my last podcast episode, when I was talking about SCORE, I mentioned a pitch contest that my business mentor wanted me to be a part of and that I was entering. Now, you guys, when I started to enter that contest, I got into the webinar and they got to telling us everything that they require or need or want when it comes to the business. And at that point, I had just recently switched from selling pre-made clothes from, other vendors to doing custom designs. And I was only working with about 2 designs at the time. My Facebook shop was just raggedy, not working, and my Instagram as a result was not doing great as well. Now, as a result of all that, I chose to step down from that pitch contest just so that I can get the website back up and running, get our Facebook shop and ads manager back up and running so that I can run ads, as well as our Instagram shop. I just wanted to be prepared. I didn't want to go into a contest ill prepared, basically setting myself up for failure. But now that I got everything kind of back on track, I am going ahead and entering the SCORE pitch contest that they have with Key for Women. SCORE and Key for Women, again, are 2 organizations that I have mentioned plenty times before in previous podcast episodes. Go check them out if you want to know more about them. But they do have another upcoming pitch contest that I now believe that I am ready for and that I am going to enter. Also, you guys, I just entered into the Alice Grant contest. So I'm going to be updating you guys about that. And then when it comes to business grants and things like that, I'm going to try to keep you guys posted about as many grants as I can come across. I'm going to be applying for these grants and telling you how you can apply as well. When it comes to the Alice Grant, I want to say that the times of entry is either closed or about to close, so I don't want to go too much into detail about this particular grant, but I am going to keep you updated with it, and I am going to look into more grants and figure out any more grants to share with you guys so that you guys can start applying for business grants and get funding as well. Y'all know that's my goal. My goal is to get all of us some funding, y'all. I'm trying to get all of us some funding for our business and figure out a way to go about this the easiest way, because it is not easy at all to get funding, but I'm trying to find the easiest way to get funding, if that makes sense, okay? So make sure y'all are keeping up with us and listening to the podcast so that y'all can hear about these grant opportunities, and I can keep y'all updated with Alice Grant and let y'all know how that goes. Now, you guys, I know that if you follow us on social media, YouTube, and even listen to the podcast, I have not been posting a lot lately, and it's mainly because I did switch to doing custom designs now. So now most of my time is spent designing clothes and creating the actual designs on the clothes. But But I'm starting to get the hang of doing everything myself now, and I'm starting to basically work on a schedule. I'm literally up 8 in the morning, like I have a 9 to 5, working on this business. Okay, but the only difference is mine's go beyond a 9 to 5, because after 5 o'clock, I'm usually still sitting at my desk for another 4 or 5 hours. So I'm going to try to come up with a schedule, a good schedule, where it comes to creating posts and then having those scheduled and letting Facebook, distribute those across Facebook and Instagram for me, as well as, coming up with a schedule and a time to write out the scripts for the podcast, because I do write out my scripts for my podcast. So I'm not just coming on here talking, y'all. And it just helps a little bit more when it comes to editing. I don't have too many mistakes to edit out or to fix. But I'm going to try to come up with a schedule so that I can be present on all our social media channels a lot more, and so that you guys can see us and not forget about us. So I'm going to try to be a lot better. And on top of that, even though I'm constantly adding more and more things under my belt as a business owner, okay? Well, you guys, we have reached the last segment of the podcast, where I either give you 3 resources that will help push your brand forward, or I shout out 3 Black brands or businesses in order for you guys to check out, who are doing their thing, usually in my inner city of Cleveland. And this week, I'm going to go ahead and give you all 3 resources, okay? So the first resource that I want to shout out, I mentioned it earlier in the video, and it is called Placeit.net. Placeit is a website where you can create beautiful mock-ups for your designs, for your products, and essentially use those mock-ups for your ads and advertisements. I spend $12.99 a month on Placeit.net. I do believe that it may be a free version, or they may let you try it for free. But I do spend $12.99 on Placeit.net, and to me, it is worth it. So go ahead and check out Placeit.net when it comes to creating mockups and things to place on your ads, or even to liven up your website. Next, I'm going to go ahead and shout out Fillmore Pro, which is also another software that I mentioned that I used earlier in the episode. Now, Fillmore Pro or Wondershare, whichever term that you use to describe it, is a video editing software. And this video editing software comes with a whole bunch of different effects, graphics, transitions. They come with different music. It comes with so many different things to utilize in your YouTube videos, or if you're creating an ad. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check them out. They also have like a additional software to add on called iStock, and it just gives you a whole bunch more transitions, a whole bunch more effects, a whole bunch more sample videos, templates, and things like that to add to your videos. Now, I pay about $55 a year for Wondershare, and then iStock is another I think $10 to $12 a month. Completely worth it, you guys. Now, there is a free version of Wondershare, but the free version will place a huge watermark with their name and logo at the across whatever videos or ads you create. And if you don't think that's going to bother your viewers or the people that you are trying to advertise to, then by all means use the free version. I prefer not to have the watermark going across my screen, so I just go ahead and pay the $55 and go ahead and pay the $12.99 for iStock. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least, I have to go ahead and shout out the Anchor app. Now, y'all, the Anchor app is the app that I use in order to publish my podcast. Now, you can use the Anchor app. The Anchor app is completely free. You can use the Anchor app to record your podcast, edit your podcast, add music to your podcast, and then the Anchor app will distribute your podcast across multiple podcast websites so that people can stream it, you know, all over the world. So Anchor streams my podcast through Spotify, through Google Cast, through Radio Cast, so many more podcast streaming sites. Because I record and edit my podcast off the app. The only thing that I have to do is upload it when I'm done, and it distributes them across all the platforms. Now, you do not necessarily have to record or edit your podcast outside of the app. You can do everything in the app and then just go ahead and publish it, and it will distribute your podcast throughout many different streaming platforms. So if you want to check out Anchor, go ahead and check them out. And again, it is completely free to use, and I highly, highly recommend using the Anchor app. Okay. Well, you guys, it is time to bring this podcast episode to an end. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. If you got some value out of this content, or if you just enjoy listening to your girl talk, go ahead and share this podcast with your friends and family. If you want to be a part of the JTD community, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on our social medias, Facebook and Instagram at JTD Co and JTDCo.shop. Our YouTube is JTD Co as well. And as always, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.